Yay. So you can learn more about Betsy's background if you're interested, her intentions, and her musical work by visiting her website. For now, I'm just so pleased to welcome you all and to congratulate you for choosing to spend this couple of hours with us this afternoon. Please welcome Betsy.
Hello, my friends. What a amazing woman. What a beautiful spirit. Thank you. That was very touching, actually. I'm glad you let them know about the many hats, because she took a bunch of them off my head, and I am the better for it. So many thanks for coming. It's just like how the airlines say, we know you had many choices today. We're so glad you're flying with us, right? But truly, I'm thrilled. I see faces I know, people I've met very recently, people that go way back, and just friends of Frisia and friends of Penelope and friends of Wisdom Center. It's a beautiful gathering, and I'm thrilled and honored to be with you. So I want to start off with an invocation. It just came to me. It's not a song I'd usually do in this program, but in this setting, I think it's nice to have that breath at the beginning and to dedicate this program to the earth, which is why I'm doing it and where the songs have come from, and to just bring us all into the same realm of dedication to this planet and all its creatures. They're all, I was going to say sentient, but they're all sentient. You know, they're all sentient. So with me, we'll just do a little bit of this. I'll do this song, is what I'm trying to say. It's a song by Shari Bernstein. Send me a voice to speak your deepest fears. Send me a song to heal a million tears. Send me a voice, the voice of ancient years. For I am walking this road for you. Send me the strength to heed you when you call. Send me the eyes to gather all. Send me the truth to break the longest fall. For I am walking this road for you. Earth, make me your channel, and I will bear your pain. Earth, take my whole life to make you whole again. Make me your instrument, and I will play your tune. For I am walking this road for you. I think we could all hum or ooh this melody together. It's such a beautiful melody. Let's bring your voices in just on ooh or whatever feels good. Ooh, ooh, yeah. Ooh, can sing it. I'll give you the words. Here we go. Send me a voice to speak your deepest fears. Send me a voice to speak your deepest fears. Send me a song to heal a million tears, to heal a million tears. Send me a voice. Send me a voice, the voice of ancient years, the voice of ancient years. For I am walking, for I am walking this road for you. It's true. For I am walking this road for you. For I am walking this road for you. And so we are walking this road. And this whole song cycle that I'm doing is really about helping us walk the road, helping us. But I'm going to start with a little chapter. There's like chapters to this thing. And and we need to silence our phones. We only get one of those, and Patrick already dimmed it. So none of you can do this. No worries. Okay, so chapter 1 is called Welcome to Life. And it is, before we look at some of the harder things, let's just celebrate that we're here. We're here at this time, in this place, and it is no accident. I firmly believe that we are here for this time. Joanna Macy, who many of you know her work, says, we were born for this time. And she's now, 95? And she says, I am so glad to be alive in this time, to see what's never been seen before by humanity, to see a turning, a collapsing, call it what you will. We're here for it. I think this is to celebrate. Plus, it's just so darn fun to be in this body, right? So this is called Welcome to Life. Welcome to the great unknown. Welcome to the magic show. Welcome to the lights and sound. Pretty soon you'll know your way around. Welcome to life. Breathing unfamiliar air. Welcome to skin and bone and touch and taste and hair. It's a little strange, it's a little fun, and before you know it, you're gone. Welcome to the blink of an eye in a hurricane. Welcome to life. Yeah, sing it with me. Welcome to life. Yeah. Mama's gonna love you long. Mama's gonna love you strong. Mama doesn't know the ropes. Got nothing but her mama hopes. Welcome to love that hurts and love that heals. Welcome to kind and cruel and tender and foolish and real. Crawling through the mud, flying across the sun, and before you know it, you're the one saying welcome to the blink of an eye in a hurricane. Here we go. Welcome to life, yeah, again. Welcome to life. Woo-hoo-hoo. I bet you can do that. Woo-hoo-hoo. Now make up your own. Woo. That God is just another name for standing dry inside the rain. God is what is breathing you when you're drowning in that sea of blue. Welcome to some big dance you never quite learn. Still, it's your one big chance to walk through fire. Find out it burns. It's a little joke, it's a big dream, and no matter how it hurts, you don't want to leave. It's the blink of an eye in a hurricane. Welcome to life, and again, welcome to life. Walking through the fire, drowning in the truth. It's the pits of hell, and it's heaven on earth. It's the blink of an eye in a hurricane. The blink of an eye in a hurricane. The blink of an eye in a hurricane. Welcome to life. Yeah. Oh, there's nothing more delicious to me than singing a song I adore to people who can completely hear it, completely receive it, and sing along. It's the best. It's great joy. I wrote that when I was a doula in a very unexpected turn in my life, and I've had several, and I bet you have too. I became a doula and just assisted in amazing births with amazing women. But I worked primarily with low-income single moms or immigrant moms through both the county hospital in San Francisco and also a couple of private pro bono. And this song was written for one of the new babies, and welcome to life. And who knows what's ahead? But aren't you glad you're here? And then, okay, so then there's these bodies. Ooh. And we've all had one from before birth until the present. We're doing good, still here. And I wanted to just sing a little. This is actually called The Autobiography of a Body. And you'll see why. How's everything, Ray? You good? Sound good? I'm thinking, if you wouldn't mind, move that camera over, because I'm either going to look at the camera or I'm going to look at the people. And I don't want the Zoom people to always see the side of my right cheekbone.
No, they're seeing you dead on.
Are they? But where's the camera for them?
There.
But I'm not looking at it.
Well,
As far as I can tell, I'm not looking at it. So, you know.
great. Don't worry about
All right, okay, all right. The artist is getting picky. Okay. Autobiography of a Body. You'll all find yourself in this story somewhere. There's little parts you can sing, and I'm not going to teach you. You'll just hear after a few verses, certain things repeat, and you can jump in with confidence that you're going to be all right, okay? This body had a good time when I was a little child. This body had a good time when I was a little child. This body had a real good time, soft little belly, sturdy little spine, and I knew every inch was mine, all mine. When I was a little child, sing that. When I was a little child, nice. This body had a good mind when I was a little child. This body had a good mind when I was a little child. I could make up stories, I could make them rhyme. I was making up stuff nearly all the time, making up songs way past bedtime. When I was a little child again, when I was a little child. This body had feelings when I was a little child. This body had feelings when I was a little child. Cold when I'm scared, hot when I'm mad, warm and soft and tender and glad, before they told me what was good or bad. When I was a little child, yeah. had power when I was a little child. This body had power when I was a little child. I flung myself right into the world. Dare me to do it and I'll give it a whirl. And no one could tell me I was just a girl when I was a little child. This sounds so good. I love this. This body was tender when I was a little child. This body was tender when I was a little child. Saw some things that she had to hide, secrets frozen up inside. But little by little, I'm coming back alive. Like when I was a little child, when I was a little child. This body started changing. I couldn't stay a little child. This body started changing. I couldn't stay a little child. Didn't mind growing up, but it didn't seem right that girls had the rules and boys had the rights. But I made it my business to put up a fight. Since when I was a little child. Let's sing that. When I was a little child. This body's been a good friend since I was a little child. This body's been a good friend since I was a little child. I got patchy skin, creaky limbs, but the body keeps going through thick and thin, and the dance goes on, and I'm all in. It took me this long to learn the moves, so bury me in my dancing shoes if I come back around and I get to choose. I want to be a little child. I want to be a little child. All right. Yeah. So good. So good. You are the best. You are the best. Well, since this is a Buddhist center, I will just comment on the fact that you may not have realized that these bodies are not permanent. That we live with impermanence on every level, planetary, national, empires falling, just thank God. And we'll get to that. But I want to pay tribute to the other end of the life cycle through singing a song about my mother and about losing her. And, it's one of those things that's kind of unthinkable. Just like the thought of losing kind of modern industrial civilization as we know it, which, is possible, just seems unthinkable. There's things you just can't imagine. I could not imagine. I saw her getting older. I saw her getting ill. And it was still like, she's not going to go. She's not going to go. So, a little song about that. I can tie my shoe, I can brush my hair. Nope, I did it wrong already. I haven't done this in a while. I'm good now. Okay. I can tie my shoe, I can brush my teeth without my mother. Walk to the corner of 2nd Street without my mother. I can read a book, I can brush my hair, set the table with the silverware, a little bit crooked, but she don't care. She's my mother. I can sleep overnight at my best friend's house without my mother. Get up on stage and take a bow without my mother. I stole money for candy from her purse, but the taste of the guilt got worse and worse. That kind of love is a gift and a curse. I love my mother. What would I do without my mother? Who would I be? How would I feel? Am I still a daughter without my mother? It doesn't feel me, it doesn't feel real without my mother. Feel free to sing Without My Mother with me. Well, I went off to boarding school. I left my mother. I got a little wild. I broke some rules. I'll show my mother. But when it all came crashing down and they sent me off to the lost and found, all I really needed was solid ground. I needed my mother. What would I do without my mother? Where would I turn? Where would I go? Can I find my way without my mother? Can I be real? Can I be me without my mother? Well, I knew someday I would have to live without my mother. Thought the sky would fall and the earth would shift without my mother. But she taught me to sing, his eye is on the sparrow, even when the path is dark and narrow. She's in my bones, down to the marrow. So I can cry my tears, I can say my prayers because of my mother. I got eyes that see and a heart that dares because of my mother. And the grown-up son of her little girl wants to be a dad, wants to change the world. That kind of love is a precious pearl from my mother. Thanks, Mom. And where's the Kleenex? I actually brought the Kleenex out on that table because I know what happens in my... Oh, thank you. I was thinking of that. Her name was Margaret. Margaret Ostrander Rose. And she was a remarkable woman in a very humble way, as many women of that generation were. The hidden gifts of our mothers, you know, of that generation. She was born in 1922. Aw, there you go. What was her name? Janice. All right. Well, sing praises, you know. And I know not everybody had the same mother. I do know that. And I'm very grateful. And I pray for healing for everybody, whatever their mother wound or gift or both was and is, right? Okay. Oh, my God. Okay. I love these songs. I just love these songs. So this is, I do. Thank you. So this is a song I started writing for my son, who's now 32. But when he was graduating from college, he majored in like really practical things like American Studies and African American Studies. So when he was graduating, he was like, well, I don't really know what to do. I don't have a calling. It's very hard. It's very hard for young people graduating from college and facing, especially now, you know, when he was facing the unknown, how long ago? 15? I can't do the math, but you know, it was a while ago. Things have changed so much since he left. So anyway, this is a song of encouragement that I wrote for him. I used to write songs for his transitions, for his going to kindergarten. I had a song for that. Graduating 5th grade, I have a song for that. Whatever. So this is his graduating from college song. And I rewrote it recently. It kind of disappeared into the mists of non-memory. But I came across the lyrics in an old file and thought, this is nice. I like this. Couldn't remember the tune at all. So I wrote a new one, which I like very much. And I rewrote the song, and here we go. And it's called On the Cusp. Your life spreads out before your feet. You're on the cusp of being free. You're done with deadlines, tests, and scores. Your life, your time is finally yours. And I see you tremble, standing there. So many balls up in the air. So many pathways you could choose. You're weighing what you'll gain and lose. But the only way to start, one step, following your heart. I don't pretend to have the answers. I thought I'd be a day-god dancer. Not every dream you dream comes true. Just the ones that are meant for you. I'm looking back with second sight. I sure remember all that fright. But music was my oldest friend. I finally chose her in the end. What a work of art, my life, following my heart. You've got a sketch, you've got a clue. So many colors live in you. But there's a wisdom in not knowing. Every risk just keeps you growing. The wind is at your back. There's nothing that you lack. Just do your part. Make a start. What a work of art. Your life following your heart. 'Cause you're a work of art. Thank you. Thank you so much. And of course, this is not just for people graduating from something, right? This is what it is to face the unknown, right? And the fact that we're facing the big unknown, you know, is like we've been through small unknowns, and now we're in this big unknown place. And that's what the next section of the program is, Chapter 2, which is called Stay Awake. And just briefly, I'd done this doula thing, and I was so happy. I thought, this is the rest of my life. I've given 50 years to music, to public music. I will always make music. I've given 50 years to public music. I'm happy to just be one woman with two pairs of hands helping one woman have the most important experience, perhaps, of her life. It was so blessed. I'm so grateful. It didn't last very long because COVID came along. And within 2 months of starting at San Francisco General, happy as a clam, they sent all the volunteers home. And I wasn't experienced enough, I felt, to do online, because that's what doulas were doing, was going online. I was like, I haven't been doing this long enough. So I did have a couple of these young single moms, as I say, but I went back, I decided to do what a lot of my musician friends were doing and sing online, do community singing online, and that was great. Frieza came, and Penelope was so faithful, and maybe some of you came, I don't remember. And okay, but so then our situation accelerates, and things are really moving fast, aren't they, in many ways? And I felt like none of this feels like enough. You know that feeling so well. How can I possibly do and be enough for the magnitude of this crisis, right? So at one point, no doula, the online stuff was lovely, but just, I said to the powers that I talk to, put me to work. I've got skill, I've got energy, I'm healthy. What should I do? And I was expecting and wanting, what I wanted was something dramatic, because I'm kind of a drama queen. So I was like, go join Extinction Rebellion and glue yourself to Chase Manhattan or Shell Oil or whatever, or become, I had also become an abortion doula, because I was so outraged by the abortion crisis going on. Thank you, really, thank you, Jess. And so then it's like, well, I know, I'll go to Mexico and smuggle pills across the border. This is the kind of thing I dream of, So I'm looking up, literally like, okay, tell me, right? Well, it was a split second before the voice from here said the answer, and it was write songs. And I thought, that is so old. I've been doing that for 60 years. And I haven't seen it save the world yet, so, But that's all I got. I kept saying, really? Yes. Really? Yes. And so it began. And I have to say, and you know this, but if you ask the universe for guidance and it gives you guidance, it behooves us to obey, right? It behooves us to obey. So I said, okay, all right. And really, folks, within a very short time, boom, 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 these songs, boom, 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 they were ready. They were waiting. So it was beautiful, Thank you. Yeah, well. And that's nice. But no, I tell you this because there's such a teaching in it about ask and receive and then do. And so the songs and all of that. And so I want to give you a quote. Yeah. I like it. So Leonard Bernstein, after the assassination of JFK, it's cool. I like it. Bye. No, Leonard Bernstein gave a talk.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
He is our local, do exactly what you're just talking about.
Okay.
That was synchronistic.
Okay.
And that was Curtis Relford.
Yeah.
His foundation is Follow Your Heart Action Network. He does much good in this.
Ooh.
But his music is a little over the top.
Hey, whatever, I'm so glad to hear that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. So this thing of like follow your heart, so Leonard Bernstein, after the assassination of JFK, gave a speech at the Lincoln Center, I think, and he said, our response to violence will be to make music more passionately, more dedicatedly, more beautifully than ever before. And the way that kind of filters down in me and why it was write songs is do what you love and do best, but just do it with your whole heart. Give it your all. So I cleared my decks. I quit some groups I was in. I backed off of some leadership things. I made space, and here we are. Here we are. So I was out in the Sierras at another dear friend. Frisia and Ray have been so incredibly generous to let me stay in their little cabin on their property in Lompico. It's perfect. The song about when I was a little child came at that retreat, so yeah. But in the Sierras, I was my very first retreat. I've been trying to go to one every month somewhere. And, I tried not to have an agenda. I tried to be very open, but how many of you have tried to not have an agenda? It's like, I hope God doesn't notice that I have an agenda here. But anyway, so there was a day when it just wasn't happening. I didn't feel inspired. I thought, you're wasting your time, blah, 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 blah. So I went and sat on the deck, and they were surrounded by beautiful trees. And I just said to them something like, I'm here for you. I dedicate myself to you. Tell me something. I need a message from you. Well, watch out what you pray for, because it came and I just had my journal and I just started writing. And it was a complete download. It was incredible. And so I got this poem, this writing that I turned into a poem. I didn't have to change it very much. And I want to give it to you because it really is a message from the trees to us. And perhaps especially we elders, but not at all exclusively. And then right after this, Ray, we'll just go right into the piano part. Yeah. The trees say, You are old now, an elder alongside us. There's space made just for you. The voice of time, the distillation of a life. There is much less to do now and much more to be. Time is both short and vastly wide and deep. You are meant for the depths now. And finally, you can accept the truth of tides, the deep pull that draws you close to whisper her secret messages into your heart, and then releases you to the shore one more time, spilling the sparkle and shells of small lives and breathing tangled stories. In breath, out breath, gather, release. To the younger ones scampering along the shore, you are both ordinary and magical. You do not run with them. They will make of your ocean, your deep sparkle, what they will. This is not yours to decide. You are needed, and you are not important. Think about that. Most of what you offer will be ignored or kicked aside for a shinier or a more useful treasure. It doesn't matter. Sing on. Go deep when the pull sweeps you there. Dance on the shore when the exhale spreads the one you still think you are onto the gritty expanse of daylight. There's nothing to judge. You cannot know the purposes of all these intertwined systems, how the trees know the ocean, how the ocean knows the trees, how your bare footprints on the fleeting shore, your message, your secret code, are washed away again and again. Sing on. From each embrace, each outpour, from the deep, silent roar of the ocean belly into the chaos and turmoil of the gathering, curling, foamy splash and release, and the scattering of your pebbles and shells and dead microbial lives, comes the poem of your life. Your message to the future, your final offerings that glint and catch light and reflect, though they may be unseen, unheard, unremembered. It does not matter. Sing on. Time, the creator of all things, breathes in and out, deathless, indifferent, infinite, real, birthing the future with each breath. A fresh wave, and the next, and the next. Time's only purpose is creation. Its only language is love. It's okay. This is the first time I've ever done a karaoke with my piano. This is Ray. There we go. When hope is lost, there still is faith. When there's no cure, there still is grace. There is a future, all unknown. Sing on, sing on. When first the stars were set on course, and mighty winds circled the earth, there came a song that called us forth. Sing on, sing on. We search the skies for guiding stars, for signs that tell us where we are. Ear to the ground, the whispered prayers. Sing on, sing on. You can sing that with me. Sing on, sing on. Sing for the mountains, sing for the trees, sing for the waters, sing on your knees. Sing for this hour of greatest need. Sing on, sing on, sing on, sing on. Still sings this song from ancient days, from galaxies that know our names, where time created this song of praise. Sing on, sing on, beyond all hope, beyond all fears, beyond all sighs and prayers and tears. The timeless song is ever new. The song is me, the song is you. Sing for the living and those to come. Sing for all beings beneath the sun. For all who fear our race is run. Sing on, sing on, sing on, sing on. All we hold dear may soon be gone. Sing on, sing on. That was perfect, right? Oh boy. Yeah. And for me and for Ray, for just beautiful, beautiful support in every level. Oh, God. All right. Wow. So, there's so many ways to name this time. I've heard it called, of course, The Great Turning, which is a wonderful framing of it by Joanna Macy. That we're in the middle of, speaking of birth, we're in the middle of we may be in the middle of a huge birth. But time is so beyond our ken, our knowledge, that we can't see. And I wrote a song a long time ago, I'm not going to sing it, but with Joanna's teachings in mind about not knowing whether this is hospice or midwifery. Because I've been in both. I've accompanied my parents and a beloved sister out of this world. I've accompanied babies and moms in. And the energy around those thresholds is very similar. And there are death doulas as well as birth doulas. There's something liminal and magical, and you feel like this is what it's all about. This is the real stuff. And it's a little hard to transition out of it when it's over. That's a whole other story. In fact, it was after my eldest sister died of cancer in 2019, and I spent her last months with her. I came back to the U.S. from Australia, and I didn't know what to do with myself because the Betsy who had been functioning before that and was like, well, Deb's going to go and I'll finally get back to my work, you know. It's like, what work? I'm not interested in any of this. This is all sawdust, right? You know what that's like sometimes. And that was where the doula call came into that space of non-being, of no self, right? The old Betsy wasn't around. I didn't know who the new Betsy was. That's great. What a good fortune to be in a time of loss and emptiness, because who knows what's going to come in, you know. And true now, not my next song, in a minute, a song on that theme. So the great unraveling, the great reckoning, there's a lot of ways to name this, and there's a lot of places to stand in relation to it. You know, one can stand, I'm going to say there's a wonderful training called the Eco-Sattva training. Has anyone heard of it? It's put out by the One Earth Sangha, which is the international Buddhist environmental organization. They are wonderful. And I have a list of resources on the back table, and I've got the website for all this, because this training, think of it, Eco-Sattva, you know, Bodhisattva, the one who returns many lifetimes until all beings are liberated. Eco-Sattva, put it together, right? And that training really helped me understand that living with uncertainty is the art of our time, yeah, right? And many possibilities. We have a tendency to want to narrow down to one because it's reassuring to have an answer. Either we're doomed and it's over, or technology will fix us, or the apocalypse is coming and God will lift up the worthy. I mean, there's just a whole lot of ways to plug in something solid, right? Or if we just get everybody to change their light bulbs, right? You know, or if we just blah, 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 blah. And I heard a speaker on this, a theologian, say, who's this we? I mean, it's going to take the entire planet, except for those who are not doing a carbon footprint, and there are many who are innocent in all this, but millions upon millions of people to change radically. I wouldn't bank my hopes on that in a certain way. Okay, so just saying, all these ways of seeing it. And so that, to me, Sing On is the song of faith. It's a song of faith and courage of, like, whatever you're doing, do it, right? The next song is one that occupies a really important place in the spectrum, but it's not an easy one for us to go to, and it's the place of grief, the place of loss, and the real possibility that really life as we know it and much of the ecosystem might be gone, you know, fairly soon. Doesn't mean we're all going to die. It just means that nothing's going to be the same. And I was worried about this song. I thought this may be opening up too deep a well, you know. I'm not sure I should sing this in public. But I went over to my friend Joanna Macy, who's all about despair and empowerment, you know, from the nuclear days and from now. And I sang it to her, and she kind of wiped her eyes and said, no, you have to sing this. It's really important to have a public place to name the grief. You know, it's like the elephant in the living room, so to speak, that nobody wants to talk about this. There's a woman, a teacher named Sabon Fou-Sommeil, who comes from, what is it? I can never say it. Burkina Faso? I'm not saying it right, but whatever that wonderfully named country is. And she did grief workshops here. She did some at Spirit Rock for public wailing and grieving, right? And she said, this is what we did in our village. This was a practice. It was like weekly that we would get together and, of course, dance, sing, but also grieve and wail. This is healthy. We don't do that, all right? So here we are together to just let ourselves be in that place of letting in that this is hard and there's a deep sadness in us. I have to remember how this goes. So we're kind of standing in the place of hospice right now. In these last days, I've been watching the clouds change, feeling the storm rage and the land on fire. In these last days, I feel one more spring coming on, little birds still sing their song in the dying light. And it's okay. We've been through some dark before. It's okay. Take a breath, get ready for more. In these last days, I've been studying the stars at night. Some of them seem a little more bright, like they're coming in close. In these last days, I hear whispering inside the wind, saying something's about to end and something begins. And it's okay. I'm ready to meet it all. It's okay. We aren't the first to fall. And the compass is spinning round. Gravity's losing ground. Even the North Star is waving goodbye. Goodbye. In these last days, I've been touching the deep place where all that's left is love and grace and an open hand. In these last days, I see wonder in every face. I'm savoring every taste of these last days. And it's okay. I can let it all go. I got what I needed, even more than I know. In these last days, it's like stroking an old dog, watching embers on a dying log, comforting and almost gone, savoring every taste of these last days. It's funny, isn't it, to have this palms together thing. This palms together works really well for me. If you feel like clapping, clap. If you don't quite feel like it, don't, right? You know, it's just... Well, this is, so we had a little time glitch at the beginning. Thanks for your patience, everybody. And hi, Zoom people. By the way, I keep meaning to say, so glad you're here. I hope you're hearing and seeing and feeling a part of it. We love you. We're glad all 15 or so of you came. And thanks again to Ray for doing incredible camera work. We've got like multiple shots going on here. I mean, I feel so pro. Woo! Well, yeah, on camera, I mean. So how are you holding up? I know this is a lot. I see some thumbs up. I feel like I should do something cheery. I have a very funny poem or two I might just give you, just to, kind of just lighten it a little bit. But I want to check with Tony because we started so late. And are we good? Can we go over a bit? And if you have to leave at 5, you go right ahead. 4. Okay, if you have to leave at 4, you go. I'd love to have you stay because I've got some really up the chapter 3. You don't want to miss chapter 3. Right? And we're almost done with chapter 2. Okay, so good. So I want to tell you a couple of very hopeful, inspiring stories from the earth because please do not go away thinking Betsy says there's no hope. Okay, you know I'm not doing that. Okay, so the first one is, you may know this, that the earth has been through many mass extinctions before. Many. And other collapses. This is probably the first human-made one, as far as we know. But the earth has been through it. And it turns out, for those who study the deep history, that the earth comes back in a regeneratively passionate way, and that evolution, some authorities that I've listened to say, evolution actually speeds up after a disaster, after a big die-off. So there's almost like a little catching up, like evolution surges forward. So we need to know that, okay, that we're not the first to fall, and, that we're part of Earth. We are part of Earth. We're going through what Earth is going through, and more will be revealed. And it would be almost impossible, I think, to end all life on this planet. I don't think we have the power to do that. I think the Earth will renew and go on. So that's one I like that story. But the one I really love is the story that my beloved son Matthew, who features strongly in the Cusp song, and also in the song about my mom, her daughter's little boy who wants to be a dad. How hopeful is that? There's a lot of young people who don't want to have children. Understandably. There's a book called Generation Dread by a psychologist who's in her childbearing years writing about this, about what it's like psychologically to be a young person right now. But my son is planning to do it, and he also wants to save the planet, or do his part, I should say. So he chose out of that, I don't know what I'm doing, he chose to be a regenerative farmer and cattle manager. And you might think, cattle, scourge of the planet. Please. Agribusiness is the scourge of the planet, right? Factory farm cattle, and that's okay, we got that. People who are moving cattle the way the cattle used to move, and bison moved across the Great Plains, mobbing, moving on, constantly moving on because there were predators that they had to keep ahead of, and they made 10 inches of topsoil at least in the Midwest, right? So cattle are our friends, and so my son and his partner Riley are managing 500 cattle on 2,600 acres and restoring habitat, soil, storing carbon. It's miraculous what's happening. I'm just, thank you, honey. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and it's pretty dark in here, and I just think of what they're doing and I feel better. So here's his story that he told me. He said that there are seeds buried in the earth that are there for a really long time, like decades even. And they are dormant, they're not dead, but they're not coming up. What's wrong? What are they waiting for? Turns out what wakens the deep seeds is, he calls it disturbance, I call it disruption, but call it what you will. Usually a wildfire, big fire, or hoofs coming through and really stirring everything up, turning everything over. And there's something about that, that wakes up the seeds, and up they come. So when I heard this, I thought that is my favorite metaphor for what we are going through. We might have seeds in us of ingenuity, compassion, courage, wild ideas that work, that we haven't been disrupted enough yet for them to be called forward, right? And there's a wonderful book, by the way, by Rebecca Solnit, who's one of my favorite authors, called A Paradise Built in Hell. And it's about how people actually react after a disaster. Because, the myth like Katrina is, rampaging, looting, lock your gates, get your rifle. Very little of that. These are beautiful stories of cooperation and mutual aid and people bonding together in ways they didn't when life was safe and they were all sequestered in their little houses. After the San Francisco earthquake, people were living in a park somewhere, soup kitchen, medical tent. They just did what they had to do together. After a month or two, it was safe to go back in their houses. And one person was quoted as saying, why do we have to go back? Why can't we live this way all the time, right? So those seeds, right, are in there, I believe. And so maybe this is the disruption that is going to wake up the hidden seeds of humanity. It's possible, right? So this song is inspired by that. Oh, a paradise built in hell. And I'm sorry I forgot to put it on my list because I didn't know I was going to talk about it. But what I did was I made one list of resources with just a lot of great stuff to support you exploring more of the kind of things I'm bringing forward if they're new to you or you just want to know more. I only made one, so take a picture of it. This is the new cell phone thing. Just take a picture of it. But this song is called Stay Awake. Okay. There's a little part for you at the end where we all get to be mycelium, which is the underground network that communicates among trees. And we get to whisper a little message to the universe together. I believe in magic. I believe in science. I believe in spirits who speak out of the silence. I believe in waiting, watching time creating, feeling how the winds change and all the world is swaying. I have no doubt there are seeds deep asleep, waiting patiently down under, waiting for the fires and the hoofs, the stampede that will wake them from their slumber. I believe in chaos and the great disruption and the sleeping fires and their sacred eruptions. I believe in mysteries and the hidden histories and the secret code left behind from friends across the galaxies. I have no doubt there is time to unlearn every false compromise. We're ready for the storm and to be born into a time. Hold to the truth, believe our eyes. I believe in this day. I believe in the good way, in what the trees say, teaching us how to reach out and pray in the midst of the firestorm, in the midst of the great warm, in the face of the doom clock. Time unwinds and hidden streams unlock. I have no doubt there is more being born, and we will marvel at the wonder. Seeds within our souls, never known, never dreamed, waking up and bringing thunder. I believe what the elders say, that the outcome is still in play, and the powers that weave the web never sleep. Oh no, they are wide awake. So stay awake to the mysteries, to the guardian galaxies, to the whispering of the redwood trees, the ancient prophecies. Stay awake, stay awake. The outcome is still in play. Keep weavers never sleep. They have promises to keep, weaving you, weaving me, weaving all that will ever be. They are wide awake. Now we whisper, stay awake, over and over. Mycelium, and you'll travel, and we're going to send it out to Santa Cruz. We're going to send it up to Berkeley. We're going to send it down to LA. So just whisper in your own way, in your own pace. Stay awake. 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 The outcome is still in play. Keep walking the good, good way. And stay awake. Stay awake. Thank you. Ooh, that's like an operetta. It just kind of goes on and on. Okay, so I imagine you all wouldn't mind standing up and stretching, running to the bathroom. We're going to just do a really short break, and then we've got all this upbeat, like the future is in the hands of the youth kind of songs, and a lullaby to end with. So I hope you can stay. We'll see you soon. I think that's good. Okay, all right. Well, let's carry on. Let's carry on. I did promise some humorous poems, and I want to do that. So they're short, pretty much. So gravity was mentioned in one of the songs, Gravity's Losing Ground. And so it turns out gravity is part of a poem that is not nearly as serious as that song. It's called Gravity. Patriarchy is sort of like gravity. They both hold us down. But gravity protects us, is a force of nature, effortless, non-negotiable, unchanging. Patriarchy, on the other hand, suffocates life, is unnatural and unsustainable, takes real effort to maintain, collapses under its own weight, is nearly over. Yeah. And then I thought I might do this little one about time, because you can see that time features in so many of these songs. You know, time, the great creator, its only language is love. I don't know, all the other ways I've talked about time. So here's a little poem about time. Okay, it's called Take My Time. Take your time, you kindly say, but I want to take your time. Surely it is more interesting than mine, which just fills up and overflows like a kitchen garbage can, full but useless. My time just seems to dribble away with not much to show at the end. My time leads me down the path with poison oak and litter, or to a dead end at the wrecked car lot, or just circling round and round in an endless loop. So you take my time, and I will take yours. How about that? Yours, I know, is filled with dazzling and meaningful encounters, good works, spiritual awakenings, or just sitting by a quiet pond somewhere without the mind endlessly rehearsing some ideal future scenario, or rewriting the miserable moment that just happened 5 minutes ago, or recreating the to-do list I just mentally created 3 minutes ago. So take my time. Please, take my time. Thank you. That is a little bit about the monkey mind, isn't it? The papancha of endless. I know it well. All right, so here we go. Chapter 3, Reimagining the Future. So, in the face of the doom clock and all of the dire and doomy messages, and some of which are perhaps true, we'll find out, but one can feel a little paralyzed, like, why bother doing anything? It's so small. It's like Sisyphus with the rock, or it's more like trying to spoon the ocean out of the sand with a teaspoon. It's hard. It's hard because we are human beings. We're limited. We have this limited form. I mean, physically, we just can't make things happen the way we want them, right? So this is a song that I don't remember how I wrote it, but it's about, I think it's really about ethical action and karma. You know, that the karma basically just means what we do has consequences. That's the essence of karma. And that ethical action is like, I don't know if any of this is going to do any good, but it feels like the right thing to do, right? It's in some pure, almost pure way, like, well, the Buddha's four Brahma Viharas, you know, karuna, mudita, compassion, I'm losing my mind here, metta, mudita, karuna, upekkha. You know, I mean, just these timeless values, timeless ways of living, good for any season, right? So this song is called This Is Gonna Matter Someday. And it's got a chorus. I mean, you will like this because it's gonna really pep you up. So it goes like this. This is gonna matter someday. This is gonna matter someday. We may never know how, but just do it now. Cause this is gonna matter someday. Try it, here we go. This is gonna matter someday. This is gonna matter someday. We may never know how, but just do it now. Cause this is gonna matter someday. Yeah. I get out my bike, leave the car at home. Ride to the river, don't open my phone. I listen to the waters and the trees and the wind. I open up my mouth and they tell me what to sing. And that's gonna matter someday. This is gonna matter someday. I may never know how, but I'm doing it now. Cause this is gonna matter someday. Yeah. Hold your little boy's hand as long as he'll let you. Listen to his dreams and he'll never forget you. He'll try to act tough, be one of the guys. Just hold him real close and he'll cry, cry, cry. And that's gonna matter someday, yeah. Really gonna matter someday. You may never know how, but just do it now. This is gonna matter someday. Fill in your ballot, march in the streets. Think about who's hungry and vote for what they need. Don't buy the despair and the media hype. Just stick with the people in love with all your might. It's gonna matter someday. This is gonna matter someday. We may never know how, we're doing it now. This is gonna matter someday. Woke up this morning, I couldn't get up. It's all going nowhere, it's all used up. It's hanging in the balance, it's riding on the heart. I don't know what I'm doing, but I gotta make a start and believe it's gonna matter someday. I believe it's gonna matter someday. I may never know how, I'm doing it now. This is gonna matter someday. This is gonna matter. This is gonna matter someday, that's right. This is gonna matter someday. We may never know how, we're doing it now. This is gonna matter someday. I believe it's gonna matter someday. I pray it's gonna matter someday. I believe it's gonna matter someday. And it just might matter today. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, that does lift the spirits, doesn't it? We need that. We need that. So I'm just thinking for a minute here. I want to do one more like that, one of those ones. And it's important to me. Let me get the words. I got them somewhere here. Here we go. It's important to me as a boomer because when I was growing up, that many of you remember, it was the don't trust anybody over 30 time, right? We were the new wave. We were changing everything, and we were, but all those old people, and I understand why, because those old people were people of the 40s and 50s. And the 50s were a god-awful time, for many people. So we didn't feel like they had a lot to teach us or show us. I don't see that the same way now. I think there's a different relationship going on or possible between generations. And I think that's what the poem is a bit about casting our depths out on the seashore for the sake of the future. Take what you want and don't be so invested in it. Like, you're not important. You're needed, but you're not important, right? That's really important to me, to kind of keep that balance. And so I'm not giving up on connecting with younger people. It helps to have a younger person as a son. That helps a lot. And I'm really glad that Mel and Hannah are here, who I met Hannah at an amazing workshop. It's on the resource list. There's this workshop called Hum that is led by 3 women. And get this, it weaves together song, a lot of song, permaculture design, as a paradigm for how we can live with the earth and follow her wisdom and work with her, and something called the work that reconnects, which is Joanna Macy's work about how, and these songs are very rooted in her work. It's about living sanely and humanely into this time as what we're about here. So this workshop was just rock, didn't it? Didn't you think it was amazing? Yeah, and Hannah's friend and farm mate Mel is here. They're doing a women-run farm called, again, give us the name? Thistle Valley, right on. So anyway, so this is called Make a Little Ruckus, and it is about older people and younger people helping each other out. Okay, here we go. And you'll have a really fun part to sing. Got a few wrinkles, I got a little sag, but my eyes still twinkle and my feet don't drag. I got a little time left on this earth, gonna use it well. Gonna make a little ruckus, raise a lot of hell. Sing that. Gonna make a little ruckus, raise a lot of hell. Gonna make a little ruckus while I got the time. I got fire in my belly, freedom on my mind. If I give it everything I got, the world may turn out well. If I make a little ruckus, raise a lot of hell. Good, all right. Well, I made a little ruckus back when I was a girl. We had faith and hope and love. We were changing the world. Now young folks everywhere are rising in a mighty swell. Busy making lots of ruckus, raising lots of hell. You're busy making lots of ruckus, raising lots of hell. Putting bodies and hearts on the line. Shaking the citadel, you make a party out of protest. You're singing all the way to jail. You're busy making lots of ruckus, raising lots of hell. Let's do it again. You're busy making lots of ruckus, raising lots of hell. Watch out for those grandmas out in the streets, making a line of protection between the young folks and the police. We're keeping them distracted, weaving our grandma spell, while you make a little ruckus and raise a lot of hell. That's a tribute to the 1,000 grandmothers that some of you know about. And they were doing trainings up in Oakland, training elder women to be to make a line between the police and the kids who were doing what the kids, pardon me for calling you kids, the young people are going to do, and feeling like the police probably won't bash us as quickly as they would bash those young people. I think that's a great use of our elderhood. Truly. And these grandmas also, I was calling up a friend of mine who's in the grandmas and saying, hey, you want to go to this thing with me? And she said, oh no, we're busy making 500 sandwiches for the young people who are protesting outside the whatever. It's like, yes, this is what grandmothers do, right? So anyway, watch out. Oh, I already did that. Sorry. I got a few wrinkles. I got a few aches. I'm so distracted. I'm going to start again. I got a few wrinkles, I got a few aches. I got a rebel spirit made of something that just don't break. I hear a call from the future, ringing like a mighty bell, saying make more ruckus, raise more hell. Let's make more ruckus, let's raise more hell. Let's make good trouble while the system fails, and it can't be too soon for me. If we give it everything we got, the world might turn out well. If we make a little ruckus, raise a lot of hell. Let's make a little ruckus, raise a lot of hell. All right. Woo! Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Watch out for those grandmas. One of the nice things about being this old is that you don't have a lot more to lose, and it makes you brave. It can make you really brave, and do stuff, right? Yeah, it's good. I feel like let's just use these years. Let's use them, elder friends, Make the most. So I'm going to do one more poem and then a final song. We good? All right? Good. That's great. And this is just kind of the counterbalance to the surge and the energy and the meaning of activism and engagement. Can't say enough about it. It'll help your depression, believe me. But there's also a kind of tender self-care and regrounding in sacred places where we can just breathe and feel ourselves part of something bigger that is still working while we rest. And Frisia's and Ray's home is surrounded by redwoods, and I can't tell you what those redwoods have given me this week, truly. I would not be as alive and energetic as I am today without those redwoods. So this is called I Must Go to the Redwoods, with thanks to Wendell Berry, who wrote The Peace of Wild Things, and this is a longer version. He said it much more succinctly than me. It took me a while to... Okay, I must go to the redwoods. It is time now to go to the redwoods and pitch my life at the base of one trunk, make a nest there and be still. All the world has gotten too huge and pressing in. Chaos, war, road rage, denial, greed, massacre. It is beyond me, and I can't unknow what I know. The madmen are cut loose and roaming the streets in their business suits and arms deals and ticker tape. And the ants and grasshoppers, valiant in their swarms of rebellion, are crushed over and over, but reassemble and surge forward over and over. But it is too much for me now. I will creep away to the redwoods. I will make a little patch of the planet, mine to tend. I will lie with my ear to the soil and listen. I will whisper to the underground workers, microbial earth tenders. I don't know what I'll say, but I know it is a prayer and a song of gratitude. I will rest my belly against the earth belly and know her roots are stretched out beneath me. I will make this small sanctuary mine to tend, though there is nothing to be done. She does not need anything from me, but my act of resistance is this: presence, love and stillness, not meddling or doing, simple reverence and being with. In this dying time this mighty downfall, from the nuclear posturing to the mad car weaving and racing down a city street, smashing all it sees. I must go. I must go to the redwoods and lay my life, my time, my heart down at her feet and be still. Yeah. And this is the land of redwoods. You all are so blessed. So use them. They want you. They want to help us. All right, dears. This is just so wonderful. And I'm just going to end with a little lullaby. And it's sort of, people... What do I want to say? There are eternals. Despite the song saying the compass is spinning round, the North Star saying goodbye, in fact, the North Star is still there. And gravity is still holding. And I just think this is a nice little way to end, that there are some things we can always turn to, like the redwoods, that will help us. It's called Pretty Little Light Somewhere. And it's got one of those repeating things. You'll pick it up very much like the body song. There's a pretty little light somewhere, a pretty little light somewhere. A pretty little light, won't you help it shine bright? There's a pretty little light somewhere. And there's a little star over your bed, a little star over your bed. It's a twinkle, it's a spark, it's a friend in the dark. There's a little star over your bed. And there's a moon peeking over the hill, moon peeking over the hill. It's a sliver, it's a smile, gonna stay a little while. There's a moon peeking over the hill. And there's a little song singing in you, a little song singing in you. It's a whisper, it's a shout, saying, gotta let me out. There's a little song singing in you. And there's a little river singing along, a little river singing along, singing along, saying, honey, you belong. There's a little river singing along. And there's a wind whispering low, a little wind whispering low, whispering in your ear everything you need to hear. There's a little wind whispering low. Sing with me, there's a pretty little light somewhere. There's a pretty little light somewhere, a pretty little light somewhere, a pretty little light shining day and night. There's a pretty little light somewhere. Now this is a hard part. You may not, don't even bother trying to do this. Just relax. You're having a nice time just receiving. But I have to do this. There's a pretty little light somewhere, and there's a little wind whispering low, and there's a little song singing in you, and a little river singing along, and a moon shining over the hill, and a little star over your bed, and a pretty little light, a pretty little light, a pretty little light somewhere. There you go. May it be so. Thank you, dears. Thank you so much. Wow. Ooh, boy. I feel like the luckiest woman in the world. Thank you. To know people like you and sing with people like you.